All right, hello everybody. How you all doing today? We're going to work on putting new grease into that wheel bearing there for our trailer. We've got a lot of work to do here, and I want to show you how we do this. So there's the trailer, and there's the wheel bearing right in there. So we got to pull that off of there and put some grease in it. So hang in there and I'll show you. It's not that hard to do. First you have to jack it up. Trailer's not very heavy, so it doesn't take much to jack it up. And then we gotta get dirty. So good idea to wear gloves with this. Alright, so you have to pull this off. There's a cap on there, and it just pulls off with a screwdriver. So like that. And then there's a little thing called a cotter pin right here, and you pull that out. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. That's it right there. That goes through the shaft and keeps this nut from turning. I know it doesn't look like much, but there is a nut in there, so let's turn that nut and I'll show you what I mean. So keep turning on that nut. See all that icky grease coming off of there? It's kind of dirty stuff, and it's also kind of sticky. It's not good grease anymore. That's kind of hardened up. So we're going to put some good grease in there. I think in the world of folks who do this, they call it packing the bearing. So you're going to pack grease into this bearing here. There we go. Can you see that nut all right? And now that just comes right off. See? Slides right off. And these are the bearings right in here. Hopefully you can see what I'm looking at there. Right there. Can you see that? See those little wheels there? That's what spins around in there. So there's one on this side and one on the other side. I'll show you. And there's one on this side here. So we'll probably not take this one all the way out because it feels all right. It's a little loose in there, but so what we're going to do is we're going to put a whole bunch of new grease in here, and then we'll put this bearing back in, and that's all there is to it. So here's the grease. See that? And there's what it looks like inside the grease can. And we're just going to be putting that in there. And I just use a screwdriver and scoop it on out, put it in there. Or, it's not going to go very fast, or I just use my finger. Scoop it in there. Big amounts of it. Just lovely stuff. Think of it like icing on a cake. How's that? But that'll help make sure that wheel goes round and round. Now that's good enough. I think what I'll do is I'll put some on the other side here just to make sure it gets inside that bearing, although there's plenty of grease in there, to make sure that that's the case. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing here real quick. There. All I did was smear some grease in here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Put a little more in there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just sort of smearing it in there like that. Make sure it gets inside there. Alright. Now, that is good. We're going to put the wheel back on after I wipe my fingers off. Okay, here we go. And here goes the wheel back on. There goes the grease. So, and that's all there is to that. It looks good and packed in there. Yeah, good. And now we want to put this bearing back in, but it's kind of dirty, so I'm going to wipe it off and get some of that icky grease off. Put some nice clean stuff back in there. There's also, I'll show you this in a second here. There's also a washer that goes on it like that. So let's put some Nice grease inside that bearing. I'm just smearing it in there. I suppose if you don't like getting your hands dirty, this isn't the job for you, but it's not that complicated. And it makes sure that that continues to work. Now we just slide that back in there. Lift the tire up a little and it'll slide right in there. See that? And then we put the washer back on. Like that. And we put the nut on. Now if you can see in the nut here, there's little slots in this nut, and that's where the cotter pin goes through, right through like that, and that holds it on there. So I'm going to start tightening it up. All right. Oops, something's wrong there. Come on, you. Why aren't you going in there further? Oh, I see. Yeah. I didn't get him centered in the... There we go. That's the ticket. You. Okay, now we got it here. And that goes in there. And that goes on there. Now we're getting it. And then there's one kind of last important step here. You tighten the nut up until it won't go any tighter, but you don't want it so tight that the wheel doesn't turn anymore. So see how that wheel stopped right there? That's not so good. So what we're going to do now, we're going to back that off just a little bit. So we'll back that nut up just a smudge. And there we go, right about there. And then the wheel will spin very nicely. Now where is that? Now you gotta just find that hole to put the cotter pin back in. There we go. Good. And then what we do is take the cotter pin and bend it over. You know what I think I'll do is put it from the underside. Like this. It's easier to get to it and bend it. So now what we want to do is bend it so that it's not in the way of our little cap that we put on. So just squeeze it down there. Both those little tabs there. There. Now that bolt won't come off as the wheel spins around. Now we have this messy thing. We're going to scrape all that old grease out of there because it's not such nice stuff. You can see it's kind of dirty and icky. So we're going to scrape that out of there. And we're going to fill it up with grease inside the cap as well. The idea is as the wheel spins around, it tends to pull this grease in and out and around. So that's plenty of grease there. So now we're going to just push that cap back on there. Take our hammer and tap it in place. There. And that's our wheel. So we don't want it to shake this way. We don't want to be able to shake up like this. It should just go round and round, nice and smooth, and we are done. That's really all there is to it. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. Well, I thought we were done, but I thought I'd show you a couple of other things I'm going to do to the trailer to make it easier to use. So let's walk around it and I'll show you. So first of all, there's those wheels that we just fixed. But these are a few things I did to my trailer to make it easier to use. First of all, I built those sides on there out of old decking, like a regular stuff you'd buy at Home Depot. And I put the same thing down as a floor on this. I think I got this trailer originally at Northern Tool, and you can get them there still. They're pretty inexpensive, but it's a really handy size because it'll store easily under the deck, but gives you lots of carrying power. So let me show you a few things I'm going to do. First of all, that rope that's hanging there, to make this strong so the sides don't fall off, that rope just gets tied up, and that rope kind of carries the full load to keep it from coming out. So you don't want the sides to come out this way. So I'll put that rope on there, but it's not very handy right now. So we're going to put some of these things on there to make it a lot easier. So the rope can go through those or hook onto those, and then the rope will, the end of the rope will hook with those red ones. And I might put those cleats on there as well, just for something else as well. So let me show you how that all works out. I didn't show you that these sides will lift off of here as well. So you just lift up on them, off the sides come, and then the whole trailer can be flat down the bottom here. So we're not going to take all that out today. There we go. So I think what I'll do is mount this one here, that, and then I can hook to it. Actually, it would be better that way, and then the rope can go through it. So let's do 4 of these, one here on each side. We'll put one of these little guys. All right, so we got it started here. You can see. So now I'm going to put the other one in. Like this. There we go. So that'll be good and sturdy for hooking things to, and I'm going to do that on the other sides. I'll show you what that looks like when I'm all done. Okay, this will be the last one here. There we go. So there's our 4 latches, and let me show you what that's going to do. All right, so I've decided on this for now. So you can see the clippies have these little guys where the rope runs through it, so I can take the rope off easy and get all the sides off easily. And then up front here, I've gone ahead and put a rubber bungee on there to hold everything tight, but easy to come apart. I know it looks kind of crazy, but I think I'll try that out for a little while. So there we go. There's our trailer modifications. Thanks for watching.